Season 2, but the question still remains for BB Team. Avery, it has been a hard matchup for them time and time again for this year and last year against Team Liquid, and they've in general struggled when it comes to tournaments of the highest caliber. So this is an opportunity, right, for BB Team to be able to push back against the storylines of the past.
If there's a time to do it, it's got to be now. You don't have a lot of tournaments left in the year. You might not have a lot with this roster if you can't start to get some results on the big stage in the right moments on LAN. And we heard the coach interview, we heard what the panel was discussing. This matchup to me is entirely about the tempo and the pace. The first 10 minutes, super important. The rune fight, super important for BB Team here. They need this first blood. They need to get out of here.
33, trying to hide away in the trees long enough that he can get a couple hits on Zygon. He does manage to get it. No way. Unbelievable. The fact that he managed to pull that off. Gets first blood away from BB Team. You want to talk about pulling off moves in the clutch. That was a clutch move right there.
I mean, I didn't think we were going to caster curse somebody that fast. we really did him dirty there. As much as we talk about how much BB Team need to get off to a fast pace, that is not what they wanted out of that rune fight. And if you look at their draft, they definitely have adapted to a lot of the past times they played against Liquid. We saw the stats. Liquid has beaten them more often than not. Save will get a little return kill in the laning phase. This is a BB Team lineup that is designed to win the laning phase. Absolutely no doubt about it. They get the last pick mid for the counter matchup. We saw what teams were able to do at EWC versus Nisha with some counter picks. It's not necessarily something Nisha can overcome in a one-on-one, so you have to rely on the supports. But if you can apply enough lane pressure in the side lanes where those supports for Liquid can't make the rotations, that's where you can pick apart Liquid's early game. It really comes down to the side lane execution here for BB Team. And when you go in on an IO Lion, you're kind of all in. This is not a support duo that's going to shove out lanes in the mid game or give you a lot of team fight firepower. So we're talking about the first 10 to 15 minutes here for the BB Team supports, the most important thing in this game.
Compare that to the Liquid supports, they're kind of the opposite in that regard, right? I feel like those are two supports that do push out lanes very well, but maybe aren't necessarily the best when it comes to like rotation stuff. Is Save looks like perhaps a little bit of revenge is finally Insania gets the punch at long distance. He gets it, and it's still going to be cut down by the Timbersaw. So the matchup still looks all right for the Timbersaw in that tree protector. We were in the panel talking about it for quite some time, and still able to dice up that tree protector pretty good.
Trades are okay for BB Team, honestly. They just get more gold overall, especially for Save on this line. Could be a big mid-game threat. Liquid are just going to try and go even, get their ball rolling, particularly extra farm on this Medusa for Boxy would be nice. This is just a lane you have to weather if you're Liquid right now. It's a lot of burst damage, a lot of sustained damage over the course of the laning phase with just spamming impales, spamming the chain through. You get the extra facet going to work for Timber as well with the extra tree spikes. This is a lane they are used to as well. I remember this is a combination that Save has played going back to, I think, Singapore Major, like 3.5, 4 years ago. Yeah. When TM was on this squad, they first faced this Timber Lion every single game they got it. And it's kind of going back to the roots here. This IO Razor is also something that Liquid used to play. Do you remember going back to European DPC?
Yep.
There was a point that Liquid rated this IO Razor as the best IO pair in the game. I think for them it switched more to that IO Marcy direction. But kind of taking a page out of some of the older strategies here. And Liquid, I mean, they're going for the new stuff, right? The support Medusa.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Because I know you're an old school Dota player. You've been around the block for a while. I know you don't like new things. I know you don't like playing new heroes. No, you don't like playing heroes in new ways. How do you feel about Medusa support, huh?
I mean, I don't want it on my team, but I'm sure it's perfectly viable.
Why don't you want it on your team?
Look, all I'm saying is if I'm in a random pub and my 4 picks Medusa, I'm reporting the guy.
Mickey gets cut down by the Timber Chain as they'll chase after Insania as well. This lane continues to go better and better as it looks like they're likely to pick up the double kill, in which case they are. Not quite a double, one for each of the pair of them in the BB Team squad.
That is the dream start for this Lion lane. So the extra sticks the Lion and Timber paying off here. He's able to put those impale beams. Boxy will tank the link for 33, but still going to have a CS advantage down here as Saika putting up decent numbers and free farming this lane.
Oh yeah, 22 and 3, 22 and 8 for the mid Monkey King as well. So Mid lane and the safe lane both doing very, very well. And the Timbersaw may not have the most CS, but they're certainly getting a lot of kills out of the lane. So I have to imagine net worth-wise, BB team is looking very, very good in all 3 of their lanes. Now, that being said, BB team, they definitely drafted to make this happen. But winning your lanes doesn't necessarily mean that you can keep up with the fast pace that Team Liquid likes to bring. In fact, we've seen that happen to Team Liquid in their matchup against Gaming Gladiators, right? When you're playing up against a fast team, sometimes winning lanes doesn't cut it.
What is this gate rotation, man?
I don't know.
Mickey make this fight.
The Gorgon's Grasp latches onto Saika, and that'll allow the Insania Mickey duo that comes through the gates, just a full-on quad lane to challenge BB team. I guess they're done with this laning phase. They say, all right, we don't want to keep this happening. We're losing out on the laning phase. Let's shift things up, and let's just move some heroes around. Speaking of moving heroes around, Save is going to move into the mid lane and helps get the kill on Nisha. The mid lane continuing to go the way of GPK as rotation comes in and widens that gap even further.
It's a really important rotation for BB team. If Liquid's going to commit this quad lane to bottom, Mickey's just going to abandon top, you need to get a trade somewhere on the map. So you're going to either rotate the line mid to create the 2-on-1 with the empty lane top and be happy with Nightfall soaking up some of the pressure bottom, but you have to get that exchange somewhere. It was also pretty valuable that Toronto Tokyo lived bottom, blood grenade out of Insania. Again, double hero gate rotation in 5 minutes. That is a big committal for Liquid, just abandoning this top lane. They do not feel like they can stand against the Lion Timber. And, I mean, this is what this lane is designed to do. Kick you out and never let you come back. Toronto Tokyo did lose this courier. There was Bracer on it. Decent amount of net worth off the board right now. And triple Wraith Band for GPK mid. You can see BB team prioritizing playing through this Monkey King. This is a lot of early stats. Treads on top of it. He is going to be a powerhouse in the early exchanges. This is not a hero Liquid want to fight into right now. They want to just continue to get the farm up, particularly on the Beastmaster 33, having a very solid laning phase here. You throw in some extra Ancient stacks on top of it. Yeah, maybe the Luna's a little sad he doesn't get those, but we have seen Liquid prioritize this Beastmaster as the true one position when they play with it, and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of still the same story of the previous patch, right? Where Beastmaster was all the rage. I feel like he was the hero of the patch for me personally, right? You get a bunch of farm out of lane if possible. If you can't get that, you get it out of some ancient stacking, and once you get it out of the ancient stacking, you get the Aghanim Scepter, and with that you take Roshan, right? Like that whole game plan hasn't changed at all, right?
Not really. I think it's been a little slower on average, but maybe a bit more item diversity. We're seeing some of these beasts go for more, you know, pipes and crimsons.
I even saw Helm of the Overlord in one game. I think at ESB. It was.
I don't know if we're gonna see that again. Another death on the TP out here, man. Hero has. I mean, this is one of those positions where it's like, you know, if your Timber doesn't carry this game, you're not gonna get a better start than this.
That is
He's
true.
just had an empty lane.
Get the lockdown on to Boxy is all that's required to get this kill. The Gorgon Grass comes out, GPK still has the stun, and Saika should be able to deliver the damage. Boxy's gonna go for a TP out. He actually is going to make it.
So tanky.
Yeah, I mean, the Dusa gets crazy tanky. That is one upside of this support. More durable than most, maybe compared to something like an Enchantress or something, but somehow managed to get away. Of course, it doesn't cost GPK that much. Monkey King, with this facet that he has, is able to move around the map quite efficiently, so it's not like it really costs him anything. I doubt he missed probably any CS out of that.
And Liquid are just having issues staying on the lanes in general. So if you can rotate these cores around from BB, maybe collapse on this mid tower at some point, you should be happy in that fight right now. This is kind of a recovery mode. They're trying to get the Luna back into a position where he can maintain the farm advantage. Another rotation from GPK, trying to get some more tree freebies here. Zania's woes continue on this top lane. I mean, he is just a Midas for save right now.
Yeah.
And he is happy collecting it. This is going to be a decent timing for this Lion Blink Dagger if he wants to just rush it straight up.
Since the Timbersaw is off to such a great start, what do you build in this kind of game for Timbersaw? Because I feel like this is a hero that actually has some item diversity.
There's a decent argument with this type of lineup composition. You would want to go something more in the auras because you have two other right-click carries and an IO Lion who are not giving you the team fight. Like an IO is going to have a mech locket, you know, if you get to that point, sure. But outside of that, you don't have that big tank presence. There's an argument there, but he's just
so many disables. Nisha can't survive.
Man, Save has he has taken this early game over. Seriously, absolutely. He has just straight up won 2 lanes on this Lion, put himself in an incredible position, and I mean, even if he just wants to go back and stack at this point to try and match what 33 is doing here, BB are going to be happy about that. You're talking about the Timbers itemization. Miro is sitting at the top of the board here. When you're in this kind of position, I don't think you really want to go just first item Piper Sling. I think you're looking to get more aggressive. Early Blink, early Kaya, output the damage, be a huge threat in the fight. You're going to open up space for other cores, and Liquid are tired of giving him the space here. Time to shut him down.
Heavy rotation, 2 TPs. Start off with the silence here. They still got the coil if necessary. Mickey is going to pop the ultimate to make sure they have the damage. 2 ults used to be able to bring down Miro's Timbersaw. It does net them a killing spree streak. So a hefty amount of gold going the way of all the heroes, though. To get it, Boxy is the one to pick up the last hit. That's not ideal.
Still good XP for Mickey here. And exactly what you want to do with this Luna pick. Get the Eclipse kills off cooldown versus hero. We can't deal with the early magic damage. BK continuing to hunt around these wards up top, but no connection here on the puck. And if you can get a fast Gleipnir on this Monkey, I think that's what really brings the early game together for BB here. Like, that's going to give you the extra lockdown, some extra long-range setup. The Timber, Razor, Lion all benefit from this. It helps set up some reload ganks if you can get there too. Yeah. So if you're BB, you're really racing towards these early Maelstrom / Gleipnirs and the mech on the Isle. That's what you're looking for. If you're Liquid, you just want the Beastmaster Ags, and then you want to use that to power up the rest of the lineup. Either get a good team fight out of it into early Roshan. I don't know how confident you're going to be forcing that, 14, 15-minute Roshan this game if you're Liquid just straight up. Maybe you're confident enough and with the extra tree and sustain and the tankiness of the Dusa, but it's a little spooky with the start given here.
Boxy getting jumped. But again, the tankiness of the Dusa does manage to keep BB team from gaining anything out of that. They almost look like they're going to make a re-go of it here.
I think they'd rather just get the tower than the kills, honestly. Open up these Ancients a bit more, try and slow down the Beastmaster. In fact, Miro stealing a couple of the camps here. Not too sad about that. Still very farmed on this Timber.
He is, looks like he's thinking about going Aura, so he went for the Kaya. I expected the Blink Dagger after that. After all, use the advantage that you have. But he's thinking about Pipe, which obviously this is a very valuable Pipe game. If you can get it early enough, Puck, Luna, you're going to be taking away a lot of the damage that threatens some of these cores that, it's pretty much just guaranteed that if Razor and Monkey King can just survive through the first few seconds of the fight, they probably carry through, right?
You also just have to deal with the extra Luna magic damage as well. This is not the 0-4-4 Luna you might have been playing against a couple patches back. Need some tank ability here. You don't want to get an early BKB. This is not the BKB meta. So go for the pipe. It'll help your IO a lot in the fight too. You might have a decent mech pipe timing here. It's going to help you contest the early Beastmaster objective taking. Like, I try and make an aggressive move with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. If he gets that pipe before the Aghanims go for Roshan is complete for Liquid, then Liquid may feel like they never have enough team fight to be able to go for that objective.
I mean, if you can finish it before that, you're very comfortable in this game. But I don't know how fast you're... I mean, this Beastmaster Axe, it's coming out pretty fast. The big Ancient stacks were not contested for 33, and he's still having a very strong game.
Nisha trying to keep the pressure on the mid lane. Will inevitably take this tower.
There it is.
It's just a question of
13 minutes here for that Beast Axe. See what Liquid decides to do with this. Instant smoke. So they're just going mid. They want the team fight out of this. They want to abuse the tankiness right now.
Beastmaster hoping that they'll catch something on the right-hand side of this tower, but you saw from Save's positioning as well as GPK, they were playing the left side of the tower, knowing that this kind of flank could come through, and now they've abandoned that mid lane entirely. Smoked up to top lane, see if they could find Mickey out of this. Mickey is playing pretty passive, though.
It's just a blink for Save. Very fast line blink. Would love to connect on this. Will not find that mark. Both smokes miss. I think this feels a little better for Liquid, though, because they can just translate this into... Well, they just got the tower free for mid. That's a big deal as well. But they can just translate this beast into another push somewhere else.
Now they're trying to bait out the Luna. BB team are not going to chomp down on that one. They've got a fair amount of vision that they would be playing into, so probably for the best. The BB team just continuing to farm away. In fact, Toronto Tokyo is getting a bit of farm and almost has a mech complete.
The downsides of all these trades, though, for BB team, if you're not getting the fights, well, they're going to start it here with Save.
Yeah, trying to force it. Hell gets his kill up bottom lane. So many heroes from Team Liquid at the top part of the map. They seem to have read that pretty well, and they'll take advantage of it, getting the kill and tower on the safe lane.
Treant of Midas there for Save.
Yeah.
Really
how many deaths are we up to for old Insania, huh?
I mean, it hasn't
a rough
been that
game.
bad. It's just, he's 6 deaths. Okay, it's been a little bad.
Yeah, it's a little bad.
I mean, it's definitely been a decent boost of gold here for Save. I mean, it's not Insania's fault. It's just that lane went really bad early, and then someone has to tank this. The brunt of the line jumps here, so Mickey can have some farm on the map. But it is pushed this Treant down. The upside for Liquid, again, though, is they have this Musa, which is the one support out of all of these that I think can clear waves and farm the most in the downtime.
Yep.
So I expect to see Boxy to climb this chart faster than the line or the IO, at least in this early mid-game. If you can get an extra utility item up, could make the difference in that Roche fight, which Liquid are done messing around. They're just going to force it here during the nighttime.
Yeah, they waited for Roshan to come over to Dire side, which they have much better control of, especially after losing their off-lane tower. Radiant side Roshan was just not a point of contention for Team Liquid. They wait for 15 minutes, they take it now. It seems like BB Team is going to let them have it. I have to imagine they know this is happening. They have so much control of the map. They pushed in bottom lane. Mid is pushing in as well. They know all of Liquid is up here. And they say, fine, you can have it. We're not going to fight into that, despite picking up the pipe. That is complete for the Timbersaw. So I do feel like they could take team fights if they wanted to. But as it is, they get a lot off the map in the meantime. They got that Insanity kill. They got the off tower. They got the mid tower. Now they're setting up what a potential fight here on Nisha as the Blink Dagger reveals itself on Nisha and catches him underneath this ward. That's going to be the Aegis. Can they get him a second time? Are they going to be able to have the disables available? Try and hit him with a Boundless Strike. The timing isn't quite there, though Nisha is still going to have a hard time getting away. Has to drop the coil on a GPK, but the stun is still there from Save to catch up. A little bit of damage is all that's required. He's going to jump to the orb once again. No, got hexed. So wasn't able to get it. Even if he did, GPK was there on the other side waiting for him. So, as a result, Nisha gets the Aegis and immediately loses it.
Save once more, just setting up all around the map. This is how BB Team want to play this part of the game. Get the setups around, get the reload kills, find this puck, continue to shut the split push down, and not really engage in the straight-up 5-on-5. I think they'd be okay doing it if they were in a position that was advantageous or on a ward. They have the pipe, they have the mech. It's not that bad for them right now. The Gleipnirs have also started to come out. Psychos is done. You're completing the one of the Monkey King very soon. Pretty much everything is there for you to take these fights around the map of your BB team, but these pickoffs are where their lineup really shines. Like, that's what IO Lion's designed to do. Get the deep wards, de-ward the side lanes from Liquid if you can. You're looking at where the sentries have been placed from BB team. It's just trying to get rid of this kind of split push ratting vision that might benefit Liquid installing this game. They really want to control where Liquid can farm on this map. And all eyes are on Nisha right now, because if he cannot get the lanes in deep, if he cannot continue to scale himself, I think BB team are going to be happy going into this late game.
Dire's bottom tower.
Another big smoke here, looking for the initiation with the Lion. Save is going to be happy to jump in on any big core target that he finds. And you have those auras to back up a team fight if it develops. I don't know if Medusa is the hero you really want to jump.
No.
Just does not feel like a good target here under a tower.
I feel like we've seen this one before a couple times in this game. Everybody else, I feel like it's free game. Just not Medusa.
I do wonder about Foxy's impact the later this game goes, though. Like, you can farm up, you can buy utility, but is Medusa spells going to be that spooky for BB team to fight into here?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Team Liquid when the patch first came out. Nice pick off of potentially on GPK, but no, Save is here with the save, and they've got the reload key coming in. The damage on GPK is not quite enough. The pipe came through and bailed them out just at the last second. Miro gets there in time, and the damage from the rest of BB team clean up the rest, and GPK, just like that, gets up to full HP off the Boundless Strike. So he doesn't even need to go back to base.
And Pupil's gift, saving lives here on the Monkey King with the extra strength.
Oh, yeah.
And now that is a big misstep here for the Beastmaster that was having the best game here on Liquid. All 3 cores from BB Team continuing to accelerate, and the pickoffs save back to old habits here. Liquid just don't have enough vision to play around. And it's hard to make these kind of solo plays if you're 33 because that reload comes in. So even if you get the monkey there, are you doomed for that play regardless?
Yeah, for sure.
The setup here is just very difficult.
In which case it comes back down to this Luna, right? Like,
oh yeah.
When does this carry turn the tide of this game? Because it's about it.
It's got to be the BKB here for McKay.
And that's still a ways away.
You get that up, you can take an aggressive fight, the Luna can stay in there. You have to worry about the Razor Link, which BB Team ideally want to kind of connect on to Mickey, but I think Psycho will happily take any big core target he can get at the start of a fight. Sure. But outside of that, like this Luna can do some damage, particularly if she finds supports at the start of the fight, but that's a big question if you're Liquid. Can you find these supports? Your jump is not that great in terms of isolating the IO, taking him out first. I think a lot of these fights could come down to saves starting on the target he wants. BB Team are going to be very happy every time that happens.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's this Puck, who Nisha's continuing to suffer in this game.
Oh, yeah. He's going to go. He's going to try and get Blink Dagger, sure, but he's looking at a BKB next. I would have thought it would have been Lincoln's, considering the initiation coming out from save every time. They finally do go for the Dusa. Seems like Boxy has stepped a bit too far forward. They say, okay, we can finally kill him. They've had some mid-vision there in the lane. They knew nobody was behind Boxy, and they'll finally take that kill. Got a killing streak for it as well, so.
Just feels like Save is getting to do whatever he wants on this map. Like, he is running around aggressively as lines, planting wards, setting up wherever he goes. Every blink stun has been converted into kills for BB Team. And he is one of the best killer supports in Dota right now. Like, this is his bread and butter. We talk about where initiation comes from BB Team a lot of times in their games. To me, it's him, right? When he's feeling the map, when he can start these things off cooldown, the team functions the best because then Nightfall just gets to farm, be the huge late game threat he wants to be, and there's not a lot of pressure on him to get stuff done. Liquid just gonna man up for a shard.
Yeah, play to get this Tormentor and hope that it goes to the tree is what I assume they wanted. Instead, it goes to the Dusa, which would be good if they had Aghanim Scepter, but they don't have that.
Gleipnir done for GPK here. Everything online for BB Team right now.
Yeah, double. I feel like this is part of the meta right now with these massive Gleipnirs. Everyone's seen them, but if you get the momentum going on early, these Gleipnirs feel so good, right? Yeah. You hit this window right here where there's no BKBs. You know you're in better control of the game. You feel stronger, and you just have so much catch with multiple Gleipnirs that situations like this could turn it into pickoffs if the Gleipnirs only find their holds. We do not. Liquid do manage to back away before BB Team catches them.
Blink Dagger's allowing the escape there. Would have been a big find. You're trying to force the fights before Liquid can finish these big Black King bars, particularly on the Luna and the Beastmaster. Then you negate a lot of the spell damage and the control from BB Team.
Boxy stepping forward, go for the deep ward. They do manage to get the Hex on the Puck, though. The initiation is there. Still, though, managed to get him away. Boxy is stuck in the middle of this Wukong's command, and it's something that Mickey can't challenge either. They have the Coil, the Overgrowth, the Eclipse, all of it being used, but nobody goes down until maybe 33. Jumps back in, going for GPK, down to half HP. Might be able to fit him up, but the Boundless Strike, he gets away. No, Nisha hunts him down. Boxy now, help with Mickey, is focusing on Psycha. Can't Toronto Tokyo get them out of this mess. Lends him a little bit of heal, a little bit of extra movement speed to get away, and Liquid do not have the same kind of catch that BB Team does, especially after the blink has already been used by both the Puck and the Beastmaster to get that kill on GPK. A turnaround for Liquid, a decent one, but it only catches just GPK. They didn't manage to turn that into a full break of BB Team and get multiple heroes.
I'm surprised BB Team got out of there with what they did. Like, that could have been significantly worse for them. An initiation that goes about as wrong as it can. You commit big ults, you commit your Lion Blink into this Puck, he does not die. Liquid are able to turn that around, and 33 is able to get a really nice connection with this Roar on the Monkey King on the back line. And honestly, a lot of that was that 3-man Gorgon's grasp. I don't know if
I'm not going to hear that too many times.
You really are not, but that was just a sick route from Boxy in the right place at the right time. Stalled out a lot of that fight, and then the Overgrowth connected after the grasp ran out. Just really stalled BB Team for 6-7 seconds there. You know, again, they don't have BKBs of their own, so
Yeah.
you have kind of limited control of Liquid, but the control you have is still very good right now.
For now, Saga is going to... So we got the Manta. Important because it helps the Razor scale up, but also really good against the overgrowth from the Treant Protector, right?
Need a Dispel.
Now he's going to get the BKB, so he's going to be able to deal with the coil, deal with the grass, and he's got Manta to be able to deal with the overgrowth. Zyka is going to go into potentially this next team fight and have nothing be able to stop him, unless they want to throw down Roar on him. That's kind of the only thing that they'll have.
I mean, he's just
itemization.
tanking up. He wants to go BKB Satanic here on the Razor, which triple Dispel, which sounds great. My big question mark, though, is are you going to lack damage with this build?
I don't think so, because ultimately, isn't he just looking to just take the damage away from Liquid? Aren't they very much based around their Luna? If you take away the damage from Luna, late game fights, is it even possible for Liquid to win that?
I just don't know how reliable you're going to get a long duration link on this Luna. Like, he has Pike. You're going to have Roar Overgrowth that can stall out the initial go. Maybe you get one more Force Staff on Liquid. You're happy disjoining that. In that case, you have to jump the Luna, but in theory, that should be very difficult with the front line between Dusa, Beast, Tree that Liquid have. Yeah. When you say what's going to stop Nightfall here, I mean, could be himself at a certain point if you just run out of damage. I think if you get this next Roche, you're not sad at all. And I think the Monkey King and Timber can definitely pick up the slack. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this item build. But if you can disjoint that link, then your Razor threat isn't as big as it could be, right? You're not all in on some glass cannon build or anything like that. Yeah. And Liquid are fairly tanky here.
Yeah, and they just picked up a big item in one of those frontliners.
That's a huge
33
fight.
has a BKB.
It's a really important fight for both teams, but for Liquid to try and get this second Roche for the Beastmaster with their BKB timing. Do not have the Luna BKB. You have to keep that in mind.
33 coming in from behind. Throws out some axes, gets a little vision, has to blink away, doesn't find his target. The mark there would be if he could catch the Eye, which he almost does. Blow up the Isle right away. That would be fantastic.
I honestly think Liquid kind of want to bait BB into jumping them. If they can bait them into jumping the Dusa or some poor target like that, then 33 is going to be able to find his mark. But I think him going in blind is very difficult here.
Yeah, and you can see Boxy is trying to do just that. Miro is doing the same.
Yeah, he has Hags right now, and there is no hard Dispel on the side of Liquid, so he's a god in the fight.
Yeah. And Boxy pushing the limit here, trying harder and harder to get BB Team to jump onto him.
They just don't want to take the bait.
And they do not. But it does mean they are conceding a lot of ground here. They are backing out into this low ground area and giving Liquid entirety of the high ground. So they can shift over to the right-hand side here, gain more control of both the gate area as well as that right-hand side. Liquid will back away and keep this lane pushed in. Something that also puts a little pressure on BB Team.
I think normally you'd want to just commit Roche here and force force Liquid to fight into the Wukong.
Yeah.
But the Roche is kind of bad.
Oh, like, yeah. It's not great.
It is not that fast here, and I don't think you're going to feel good doing it, wasting the IO sustain to potentially keep people full HP.
Yeah.
Kind of an awkward situation for them. They can't force the fight jumping aggressively blind. They can't force the Roche to make Liquid fight into them. Liquid's just going to go farm here.
Yeah, Liquid's getting the better of the engagement right now because BB Team's trying to do the same, but they don't have the same kind of camps available. Liquid are taking Ancients. BB Team's taking a small camp and a medium camp, so they have to go back to the Roshan and be like, okay, we got to pull these Liquid guys into a team fight.
Yeah, this got Mickey to his BKB this whole period. And you still can't jump this Dusa. It's just not going to feel good.
Maybe the chat wheel lines will help spur Liquid into a fight. Now they start poking at this Medusa.
I mean, you can't poke this hero. There's no poke.
Yeah, especially with the shard. He just gets a whole bunch of that mana that they wasted away pretty easily.
I think you have to just smoke and flank here if you're a BB Team. Like, believe in your Lion jump.
Do they have any
Find
smokes?
the right angle.
They've got one. Toronto Tokyo has a smoke. They're going to pop it now. So they take your advice. Miro still puts himself on the front lines.
I think this is the right play, but you have to dodge the Treant on the backside. You have to find a big core target with this Lion. He doesn't have a ward to do it.
They spot Mickey. They want to be able to go for him. They got the Hex on him. Nisha interrupts it, though. He stops that. Primal Roar on the Razor. Just what they wanted. The Eclipse goes out. GPK is committing for the kill, but he's not going to be able to have the Wukong's command is no good here. He gets sliced and diced as the chains bounce around, and now the Razor is locked in the overgrowth during his BKB. It has all gone wrong for BB Team, and now they're just desperately trying to save what heroes they can, but they will not be able to get away from Nisha as they bring down the IO as well. 3 go down, and Liquid get just what they needed out of this. A team fight into the second Roshan for them. This brings the game back into their control, a game that has been BB Team's the entire way.
The fast silence there from Nisha just broke that whole team fight apart. It stopped the chain stun from the line, interrupted the rest of the team committing in on the initial Hex on the Luna. I mean, that is the target you want if you're BB Team. It's so deep in, it's so hard to connect there. You still have the Hurricane Pike. That is really what disjointed this whole fight. Mickey's quick reaction here creates a gap that BB Team are unable to close. And we're talking about the Dispel items. Saika, he has Manta, he has BKB. He gets like a 2-second drain on a random target that does nothing here. This Razor couldn't do anything in this fight.
Yeah, too much between the Primal Roar, and then he pops Manta at some point, then he gets Overgrowth. He just gets ruined. Absolutely ruined. And now Team Liquid, for what it feels like the first time in this game, are actually up in net worth by 2K, and they've got an Aegis to work with. So we'll see what they get off of the map with that. Nisha, meanwhile, no longer having to think about a BKB, it seems. Is going to work towards an Octarine. And he's also got a lot of experience out of that. Though this pickoff is huge, they still managed to find Mickey here and take away his Aegis. Now, are they going to try and reset off of this one? Wukong's command gets used. Mickey is going to be surrounded, but he has his own BKB to be able to walk away. The drain doesn't last for too long. Nisha's assaulting the back line, trying to go for that Lion. Well, it looks like Insane. He got found in the corner. He gets cut down by Miro. Now 33. He goes and fights the IO, gets managed to get the Primal Roar on him and brings him down. Saika, meanwhile, has to use his BKB to start backing away. Miro is still a god in the fights. He still has not been taken down once in this, but a short Timber Chain may put him in a backward position. Nisha gets caught. Gorgon's Grasp is not good enough to be able to stop the damage that comes in. They may be rooted, but they are not disarmed. They lay the damage into Nisha as well as Boxy bring those two down, while Miro remained on the front lines, challenged 33 and Mickey, and did not die.
Very clutch stuns from Save here to try and turn the end of that fight, but it was all the Razor and the Timber. Just outputting some serious damage for once. Nightfall able to connect with this Razor on a long duration fight and find his mark, and Nisha going back in at the end. Just ends up getting rooted here. The Gleipnir's very obnoxious for this puck. Doesn't have easy ways out of it a lot of the time. BB able to find an opening in this game where it felt like that period was going to be difficult for them. Just caught Mickey mid. And the biggest thing about that entire exchange was they caught Mickey here initially just with Save going in, but he used Hurricane Pike here right before he dies.
Right.
So he can't really get out of this area, and Liquid feel like they have to commit in deep. You commit a Gorgon's Grasp, you commit a Stone Gaze, and even though Mickey runs away here, he's used everything defensively.
And also this Train Protector getting caught in the sides.
Yeah, that's
Overgrowth was still on cooldown, which is part of the reason I think BB Team forced that fight. The Overgrowth ruined them in the last engagement. They know that. They take advantage of that window. Toronto Tokyo did have to buy back for that. Sick buyback, though. Relocating back in to help Saika as they try to chase after him, turns that entire fight.
It is an expensive IO buyback, and one we're going to have to keep in mind, because that is a tool you ideally want.
And it was almost a dieback there, Toronto
Yeah,
Tokyo. Like 50 HP off the Tormentor.
We have, I mean, there's been a lot that has plagued BB Team in some of these big lands, and Tormentor is up there on the list, you know?
Yeah, honestly, Team Liquid and Tormentor all in one game. That is rough.
It's almost like if BB Team had a choice of their team they want to play, like, would you choose Team Liquid or would you choose Tormentor? I feel like you choose Liquid. You know, the record speaks for itself here.
It really does.
They just have not gotten past this objective in a lot of the games.
All right, second chance to be able to get a shard for somebody important. This one does go to the Luna. So that is a nice pickup in particular because he has the facet that he does. Actually, never mind. I forgot he went the Moonstorm facet. He didn't go the defensive one. I thought you would always go the defensive one, especially against like some of these melee heroes like Monkey King, but he just went raw damage.
I think they feel that this team is defensive enough in some ways. Like, you have a lot of BKB piercing control, you have sustain with the Treant, you have extra armor, you have utility coming out from the Beast. You need someone to deal some deeps. The puck's going to be able to pick it up if this game goes very late here, but Nisha's had the roughest game of anybody, so it's going to be recovery mode for him as...
And this has not been Nisha's tournament quite yet, right? He had a little bit of a rough start to things.
I think he's trying to figure out exactly what his hero pool looks like. For me, his KDA has been lower than a lot of these previous tournaments that I've seen from him in terms of finding his flow. This is another game where, like, remember, he started out 0-3, kind of just a rough lane matchup, got ganked. It's not on him, but he's like your star player for this team. You want him to shine. You want him to be leading the pack.
And that is a story that has continued since EWC, right? Where we had, I mean, he kind of got shut down by Quinn in the first place. So Nisha needing to find his groove.
Liquid needing to find their mark here. Gonna try and jump the timber, but he already got
the X. That makes things a little bit harder. The Yules is going to be able to dispel that, but a lot of the damage, can they do enough? Miro gets the help for the relocate. Draw to Tokyo to the rescue. Now, they still do use the Wukong's command. Nisha jumped in after that one. Looks like he's got an orb out to still continue and chase. Draw to Tokyo. His relocate back is going to end soon. Stuck inside the overgrowth. Saika's going to be run down underneath the tier 2, and it seems like BB team may be running out of steam.
They just don't have enough teamfight presence to deal with what Liquid are forcing at them. There's a lot to buy time here. This Stone Gaze going in is really messing up the Razor. That is another fight where Saika gets a 0-second link. It's just instantly broken, and without that, you don't have that big damage threat for the IO to tether up and just deal the deeps. And refresher for 33. I do not think BB team were ready for this second war coming through. It allows you to commit on this Timber and still have a backup second initiation.
Yeah.
Huge deal. The Yules as well for the Dispel here on the Timber Saw. A big component that Liquid were missing in some of these early fights. Timber's just not as good a frontline as he used to be. Now all of a sudden we're seeing the extra farm here for Boxy start to hit its mark. Even eyeing up a Hex here as this game goes later. I mean, he is almost doubling up the net worth of the other supports in this game, and that is the big weakness of this IO Lion support duo. Early game is very strong. Your gang potential is very strong. We saw how much they did with it. But if you slip up and you start to give away these objectives, this Medusa is going to do a lot more in the 5-on-5.
There is something really cool about this. He's built up in items for any other support hero. It would leave them being very squishy. But Dusa, every single one of these items, Solar Crest actually gives you a lot of mana. Yule Scepter for the Timber Saw is a great choice, but it just makes the Dusa tankier. And if he gets Scythe next, you know, the Dusa is just going to be a wall.
He also has the infamous bubble shield blink here. So.
Oh yeah, that's super obnoxious. And
he is
Ice Frog,
really annoying.
Take that away.
I mean, he just goes in the fight and he Stone Gazes right in front of the Razor, and it feels like, what is your counterplay? You can't turn on this Dusa.
Yeah.
It takes too long to kill. You can't play the fight if you're Nightfall here because you're just getting BKB piercing stun from multiple sources.
Yeah, I really thought that with the lead that they had, the Razor was going to be able to take over some of these fights, but I forgot about Stone Gaze for one. It seems like the combination of Overgrowth and Primal Roar and Stone Gaze has just made the fights impossible for this Razor to get long duration links. And that's why he needs a refresher.
Yeah, he has Satanic. So you have your triple Dispel build up, you build a refresher, you have 6 Dispels. If that's not enough to get something done on this Razor, then, well, you can blame your team, I guess. That's about all.
Yes. You still need to be the initiators on the team fight, though, right? But that has proven to be harder and harder for Save as the game is going on.
If this Timber can't frontline for Vision, or even if he does, but you don't see good targets, I just don't know what you're jumping at this point if you're Save.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, BB team, you might have to just commit on Boxy when he goes in. And
look at that damage just from the first Lucent Beam. Gets the Axe off, and immediately Boxy blinks in, hits the Yules. That's the Dispel. Miro, he's going to be saved for the relocate. Now Saika goes in. He does manage to get the link this time around on Mickey, but he can't quite commit for it. He actually has to back away. His team has called that it's time to reset. The first time he gets a good link and he can't commit for it. Satan actually goes back in. They go for the Beastmaster. See if they can blow him up. It's close, but they do manage to get him before the Hex runs thin. Now GPK in the middle of all these things with his lifesteal and his BKB, but he's going to start backing up, kiting away Mickey. BD team are beginning to break Liquid a little bit here as they've gotten one pick off, turns to a second one with a Tree Protector, and now it's time for the Dusa. The tanky Dusa against 4 is not going to be a match for this unless the Blink Dagger with that stupid bubble. Please. They do manage to catch him anyway, the Blink Board and the Gleipnir, so will not allow Liquid to be able to escape unscathed.
Boxy is abusing that mechanic to the maximum here. I mean, what can you say? Tier 1 neutral items, pretty good, right? 40 minutes in the game.
You know what's funny about that is I know 33 also uses that when he does the offlane Dusa, so.
It is a good RNG pickup here. Still, going back that fight, very successful for BB team, and a big portion of it that we saw, not really committing too much on this initial clash. I mean, there's some miscommunication here, but the biggest thing is they want the Beastmaster. They want 33 in this fight. They do not want him roaring multiple people, so they commit the first line jump plus the Wukong on him. Liquid are able to kite it out, but they use the Luna BKB and the Eclipse here on the Razor, who just is able to tank it up. And then a second round of Impale Hex on 33. He just didn't get to play Dota in this fight at all. And that was really what allowed them to take the long fight here.
Yeah, I did not expect the solution to the team fight being BB team resetting and going again, especially without Refresher yet on the Razor. Like, I thought as soon as they didn't commit on the Link, I thought their fight was kind of over, but they did find their opportunity in the Beastmaster, and as you said, that does relieve a lot of things for BB team.
And this IO does give you some sustain. Like, Toronto Tokyo has gotten to his lock at Mech Solar. He is pretty beefy for an IO. The Razor has a lot of HP on top of that, so if you can bait out damage onto the Timber and the Razor and reset that way, where GPK has a better fight, he can maintain his HP levels, and he can commit in later. It's not impossible to play longer fights here if you're a BB team, but you have to deal with that double roar. If double roar comes out, it's an entirely different story.
Sure.
BKB for the Timber is going to help Miro frontline as well. Can't really dispel him anymore.
More and more upgrades in damage. The Luna getting a second Lucent Beam hit in these team fights.
He is very far ahead XP-wise.
Yeah.
Nobody's close. Well, I guess Miro's fairly close.
Yeah, Miro just not dying for the longest time has managed to keep his experience high. Another one is the Puck, I think. The Puck is going to be a dangerous level 25 for BB team, right? Because that just adds one more way to be able to kite some of these heroes, and even through BKB.
Nisha holding onto that Aeon Disc Assembly.
Yes.
That could be very clutch in one of these engagements where BB team commit on him with the Lion, think they have him caught, and then assemble. See you later. A lot of very small mechanics that could come out here to win either fight.
They're going to try Force Roar. First Roar going to be put to use here, getting the Timber Saw low. He gets off this BKB, and now it's Aghanim Scepter. Liquid start backing away, backpedaling as much as they can, though they're still going to be caught as the Flamethrower is slowing them down quite a bit here, and Psycha gets in the middle of it. Gets caught, though. Primal Roar once again being put in. A Stone Gaze has also put him a little bit in a hold here. Overgrowth going to be popped. Immediately tries to deal with that one. Psycha does start getting a drain. It's on Boxy. The IO is going to go down, though. Nisha's wrecking the back line, though. He's gone for the line. Finishes him up. Miro's dropping low, and he's not going to make it out. Turns around, tries to fight Mickey. It's not going to work for you.
BB team just running out of gas here. Liquid able to kite it out. Didn't even really get the good connections on the roar targets they wanted. It's more like roar and retreat,
Yeah.
But pick your point, and they go back to this high ground. Obs baited this fight into their vision, into a turnaround position, and just out-tanked BB team. You got a solid link, but if this Luna can sit there and start to deal the damage, there's no one who really contests them. And once more a fight. Man, this game, it just feels like it hinges on how much this Razor can get done. Like some of these fights, Nightfall, he cleans up the fight. Something like that, he just gets nothing done. He just gets caught in Stone Gaze. He's stunned for 10 seconds. He wishes he was a different hero. It is miserable for him in some of these engagements, and there's just no way around it if you don't get the good jump.
Worse and worse with, you know, another Refresher Shard going the way of Liquid. So now you've got, you know, that next team fight could be Puck getting level 25 and have double coil that pierces debuff immunity. That's going to be nasty. They also have other answers for the Timber Saw as well with a nullifier from the Beast, and they are going to be approaching the high ground now.
They're going to try and force it here before that Timber 25 comes online. Did get the Refresher for the Razor. So this Nightfall has a lot more presence now. They at least can go for 2 blinks. The first one's bad. But can you repel Liquid here? Maybe a push that came later in this game than they would have wanted, but it came nonetheless.
And that'll be a second lane of barracks. About 15 minutes after the first one got taken, but as you said, Liquid gets there inevitably.
And look at the confidence here. 33, he wasn't even at this push.
Oh yeah,
like, they're not gonna go on you guys. I'm gonna keep farming up. Get the third lane in. We're gonna push for Megas here. Smoke out from BB team. They do not want to let Liquid get a good formation here into the last lane.
Yeah, with the Beastmaster so far away,
it's a risky
they can catch Liquid close, or maybe they're going to go for the Beastmaster first.
Oh yeah, they won 33. That is what this game is about. Will they find him here on a random line?
Catch him isolated, catch him on the hard camp, already down to half. Easy kill. Overgrowth comes too late. Now Psycha, he's found his mark, got the link onto Mickey, just what he wants. With a refresh and a Manta, there is no way for Mickey to be able to fight through this one. They're trying to deal with the Razor as
best they can. Another refresh coming out from Mickey, but the rest of BB team, they've already drained away the damage, and now the second life, Mickey is going to be fighting underneath a Wukong's command with a Razor that's buffed up the hell with lots of damage. A Yule's on an illusion, that's not what they wanted. Psycho starts backing himself away. GPK underneath the Wukong's command, it's gotta be enough. All three of these cores from BB team will push through and take down Liquid. The team fights continue to go around, and they still got him. Nisha's not getting away, got him on the Hex. That's 4 down from Liquid.
Save with a buyback just to clean up that puck at the very end, get what they came for. A very risky maneuver for BB team as they leave their base, look for the flank, and they find it absolutely perfectly. That is not a warded play. That is just looking at 33 pushing that top lane, getting a little greedy, and taking the risk to get the reward. Nightfall gets the team fight of his dreams. Just a full duration link on the Luna, and he's just holding Refresher the whole time. An ace up the sleeve. There's no way to turn that against the Razor in this engagement. And with 33 out, no buyback for this Beastmaster, it's just so hard to turn this fight if you're Liquid. I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did, honestly.
Yeah, seriously. I thought this fight was over right here.
Work.
I didn't think it was going to be close at all, but they still managed to come in with some of these heroes and do some damage, and Mickey stood up against these heroes a bit better than I expected, but it was inevitable.
I mean, he had Refresher of his own. It's just, you're stuck in that Wukong, you're stuck against the second Razor round. It's way too much for him. And now BB team getting to push Liquid back once again in this game. Perhaps take a lane of their own. Not a lot of buybacks available. But Liquid here, they kind of all in on their cores.
Jump forward from Miro, seeing if he can get another pick off. But Liquid, they're playing it very safe. They're going to make sure that they have all their heroes up. 1 lane of barracks, not even that, just half a lane. It's not that big of a deal when they've already taken mid as well.
I will say one thing. The best team fights in this game for BB team have come playing into Liquid when they have an Aegis. I don't know what that means, but
yeah,
it has gone very well for them in the 5-on-6. When it's even numbers, it's been a bit murkier. Hex done for Boxy. Another big component. Look for the initiations here. They got the Timber 25, took the Timber Jane range. We are going to try and play more aggressively with it. And they're still looking for the Monkey 25 as well. GPK gets this extra Wukong ring. Could be a very big deal.
Oh, that's got to be massive.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of these fights. The Luna barely gets out of the ring with a Hurricane Pike or some other, maybe the Monkey gets roared, something like this. Larger ring just prevents all that. It makes your Roche a lot more secure. We're not going to see the same problem we saw earlier if this game goes to another Roshan where BB team were unable to force the objective. They're going to be able to force this next one. Oh, save, you are. Oh, very
He's spotted. Silence Coil on 2. Boxy's going to jump forward, hits him with the Hex as well. They're going to turn and deal with Boxy, but the Psycho! He just got blown up, and GPK may have gotten off of his BKB and his Wukong's command. He'll stay alive for a bit, but his team is getting sliced and diced on the outside. Not Miro, though. He's tanking with that Aghanim Scepter. He had a Refresher BKB. He jumps forward, trying to finish off more. Now pops the Refresher. He may have gotten the Train Protector, but how much can you do all by your lonesome, Miro? You are stuck in an absolute Liquid hell of 5 heroes with a buyback coming out from Insania after his death. BB team, I respect trying to play for a win here. They won a team fight. They're looking for more pickoffs. They're playing really close to Liquid's base, but being spotted just outside of the base on the low ground was a death sentence.
That is such a high-risk, high-reward play. I mean, that could easily have been a 3 or 4-man impale from that line. Instead, it just backfires horribly.
Yeah.
I think it's extra Luna night vision here.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Probably what just caught him on the edge of it. And, I mean, Psycho just got exploded, man. That is an insane amount of burst damage going to this Razor. He instantly buys, but he has no way to get here. So this buyback is just wasted. I mean, you're going to get the lanes out. You would have had to commit it anyway. So you're at least putting it on the timer. Just a disaster of a push.
And you can see the danger of giving Liquid the initiation there with the Swift Blink and the Glaives on the Luna. She can get right on top of somebody. She's hitting you. She's loose and beaming you. The Glaives are surrounding her, doing additional damage.
Early PKP. Try and find something here. You don't have your Lion, though, for the lockdown.
Yeah, they're missing that crucial bit of initiation, and Liquid, they can finish up Megas here, guaranteed. But they're a little bit skittish about what the team fight looks like after that, especially with some of their buybacks being down like they are. Miro,
Nice impale, hits on 3, Safe goes for it, hits the finger onto the beast,
What a
managing
god.
to get the kill, but still though, the Luna, oh my god, the Luna! She is doing damage and she will take BB team out of this game.
I've never seen a better impale turn into more destruction against your own team. Save doing what he can, but in the end, it is not nearly enough here.